Fleck, Rose, and Spears, and we are Supremely Black, dropping content that matters. How y'all doing this week, fellas?
It's Big Kinfolk J Flake, man. Everything copacetic. Everything is good, man. Battling the snow, man. We had snow for like 2 weeks straight, and they talking about another snowstorm coming at the end of the week. So shoot, it's like the most snow Tennessee done seen in a minute. But outside of that, trying to stay warm, trying to stay cool, man. Everybody in the family's doing good. I can pretty much say I know I had spoke that I had been locked down at one point in time with that old you know what's going around. But with that Marion. So I can say pretty much the whole family pretty much back ready because it was me, my dog, my oldest daughter, my sister, 2 of my cousins, my niece. It was probably about 6, 7 of us that got it. But we all done shook back, everybody good, so that's a blessing in its own, man. Threw that little fees on it, get rid of that Mario.
Yeah, man. Oh, hey man, I can't complain. This your boy Rose, man. I can't complain. Life is going well. You know, shout out to the ZFT Run Club that I'm a part of. There's a few people that completed a half marathon for the first time this weekend, but it was like 15, I think like 10 or 15 people that actually did a full marathon. So, you know, shout out to ZFT and them for actually, you know, that's a huge accomplishment. These were our brothers and sisters out there pushing it outside of a few, but for the most part, that is a majority Black run group and based out of Houston and Dallas. And they have a virtual space now, but, you know, huge shout out to them. That's a major milestone. They got that off their bucket list. We've had Yancey on the show before, but that was dope to see them accomplish that. And the weekend was pretty chill. What was it, Sunday? I want to say it was Sunday. When did oh yeah, go Niners, man. I almost forgot. But yeah, they
Cap ain't got no job with the 49ers.
Oh yeah,
sign him back, and that's what we were talking about.
We
Supremely Black podcast. You want to talk about white
owners
acting like slaves to football players? Is what
we are. Let's start with Jerry Jones. Yeah, boy, just the look on his face after that game was just that made my weekend, brother. I couldn't see Black people doing big things, and then to see Jerry up there looking like he was ready to call the quits on everything. Great weekend. Black,
you know what I'm getting to learn. Getting to learn.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting to learn this, and I'm not type to go on and say talk all this Cowboys rah and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I keep how it is.
For sure.
But I would say this. It's so many people that rather see them lose than see their team win. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even see people talk as much when their team win than when the Cowboys lose.
Yeah. That's true. I celebrated our 7 of our wins this year, and I definitely celebrated y'all losses. So I mean, you know, it goes. I've
been online. And I've been seeing people go since Sunday all the way up until today talking about the Cowboys. They ain't talked about their team going to the playoffs or winning a game that long ever. So many people don't even know who their team are. They just want to see Dallas lose. That's a special type of hate right there. And you got to be a secret lover. You just got to be a secret lover.
I don't really think it's just some of the fans, man. It's like Bama fans, Patriot fans. It's just kind of like Steelers. It's just, all right, we hear it, but just have the same energy when you all don't reach. You know, every year is the Super Bowl is the expectation for you all, right?
Yeah, I would expect every fan to have the same expectation.
Correct. But it's just the audacity of some of these teams sometimes is like, let's just be truthful. Like, I knew we weren't making the playoffs, but we beat y'all last. So that's pretty how much it matter. Like, we beat the Cowboys. So I can take that. Like, all right, we trash. We're gonna be in the lottery, but we didn't lose to the Cowboys. And sometimes that's just what you gotta bank on. But you know, it was a great weekend, man.
I
Enough about
guess.
me. It's a great weekend. How'd you all feel about Sunday, man? Spirit?
Hey,
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen. All the penalties and stuff, I already knew it. So by midway through the fourth quarter, I was like, all right. I mean, I ain't blaming no referees. I ain't doing none of that. We had 12, 14 penalties during the game. So we can't blame what happened at the end of the game for the reason why we lost. Just discipline.
Man,
I'm done, man. Everybody talking about this. Spirit, go ahead. Hell.
So my week been good. Yeah, my week been good so far. Yeah. So let's just hop into these topics.
We them boys, you know what I'm saying? No, but
Hey,
hey.
he said, let's just hop into them topics.
Just hop into them topics.
Look, we got the victory over something that's going around and everybody catching it. You know what I'm saying? That's a victory I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm catching the Holy Ghost. You gotta accept the victory like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My eyes have seen the glory.
The promised land. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, man. So yeah, we are the first question, man, we'll jump right into it, man. What's your all's thoughts on just like the new wave? I know it's like the metaverse stuff, like it's crypto that's in it, NFTs that's in it. But what do you think this is going to be like? What's the impact on society with this new push, a new wave of just everything's virtual reality? What's y'all thoughts on that?
You want to jump on the first flight? As far as for me, it's I'm a little nervous, but I also see some benefit, but I'm just nervous because at the end of the day, I read a post basically saying, you know, the metaverse ain't even really what we thinking it is. So essentially what the metaverse is going to be is when our virtual lives mean more than our physical lives. And so when an example that they use is, you know, filters now. So, you know, somebody real picture, they could be looking busted or whatever, but then on the virtual end, they got the filters or whatever to make them look like this. You know, we making ourselves, we can buy things or whatever to make ourselves look more astute or whatever the case may be, but in real life, we could be 600 pounds behind the screen, but our avatar, so to speak, is, you know, six-pack here, chest here, perfect physique and everything, beautiful smile, but behind closed doors, we looking like J. Cole with a crooked smile, you know, things like that. And then also the aspect of crypto, like I understand the idea behind it, but I'm still a little bit nervous about it because right now you can't purchase nothing physical with crypto besides crypto. So the only thing that you could get for crypto is money, other crypto, like you can invest your money in it, your physical dollars, and then you can get crypto or you could sell that crypto for some physical dollars. But outside of that, I can't go to the grocery store and buy crypto. I can't buy a car with crypto. I can't do nothing with crypto because there isn't really a transferable way to do the money yet physically. And so it's like, what happens if all this investment goes in, but then the crypto crash and we ain't never using it, you know? And so I'm just a little nervous with that and everything, but I do understand, you know, people try to make things easier. I think it's dangerous though, because we are humans. We're meant to fellowship. We're meant to dialogue. We're meant to be amongst each other. And so the more and more that we move away from that, I think the more and more it's really going to be the demise of civilization in totality as the way that we see it. But I know there are some benefits from it as well. So we'll just see how it goes.
Now, a little bit of correction, you can buy certain things with crypto. I've seen a situation where somebody has bought a Lamborghini with Bitcoin. That's the only one I've seen people buy like crypto with is with Bitcoin. But that was out in like California, LA. I guess a certain dealership accept certain amount of Bitcoins for you to purchase things. The only thing crazy about that is this person had got jumped in early on Bitcoin and bought the Lamborghini with that Bitcoin. So now that Lamborghini that he paid for is double because of course Bitcoin has gone up in prices. So instead of paying maybe 250,000 for his Lamborghini, now he really done paid 500,000 compared to the crypto that he had. But you are correct. It's limited on certain places you can buy crypto. The thing that scares me about crypto is you starting to see people play games with crypto. So people roll out, let's say we got a flake crypto. I roll out a flake crypto. I get some people I got named, you know, like the situation Floyd Mayweather ended up in their last fight. That crypto there, he branded on the back of his shorts during that fight that he had with dude. And then after that fight, during that fight, that crypto jumped up because they saw Floyd Mayweather wearing it. Now, once that happened, it went up to a certain point. The people that created crypto all bounced out. They all left, which drove the crypto to drop to nearly nothing. They ran away with the money, and then everybody else who invested in that crypto lost money. So it's definitely going to be some scams out there with the crypto. So I advise everybody to, you know, do their research, do their studying. Back to the metaverse, I say it is good and bad. The thing that reminds me of it, I just watched The Matrix not too long ago. And I said, that's pretty much going to be the Matrix. Maybe not how the movie form is, but it's going to be some form of the Matrix where you got your real life being a certain way, you plug in, and you got a whole nother life going on. It do make me nervous because, like you said, we are creatures of, you know, a fellowship and being around amongst each other, being around other human beings. There's a reason why they use solitary confinement as a punishment in prisons, because you need to be able to fellowship around other people. One of the cool things I did see about it is people was going to basketball games and you know, on metaverse and going to concerts on metaverse, and it's like you sit in front row. And now that was pretty cool. You know, now if you got the Oculus or whatever it's called, I mean, you go into the metaverse, you can go to an NBA game and sit courtside and watch the game, or go in there and watch a movie or a concert. That, to me, that's about the only cool thing about it. All the rest of that, you know, people building universes and worlds and spending thousands of dollars to be able to wear a certain sneaker in the metaverse, and or to own a house in the metaverse in a neighborhood with somebody else. Like Snoop Dogg is banking. He got a whole like little neighborhood going on, a whole little city going on in the metaverse. And if you, like I said, if you got the money to jump in early, you can make some money. But if you're not one of those people, I'll be honest with you, I don't see a point, and it may be something I'm missing out on. D-Rose?
Yeah, I think y'all made some good points, man. Like for me, especially with, I think the crypto is a good thing, but you know, like the positives of it is that I think it's gonna create new millionaires, new billionaires, and it is something that the average Joe could get in and catch at the right time and can make a lot of money off of it, and potentially could leave a job or however you want to do it just to kind of create your own new lifestyle. So I think it's a good thing. The bad things about it is just like you were saying, the money schemes, but that's the same way with just like regular currency. You always got a pyramid, people get into that. The bullshit coins like pump and dump, but I think it's just going to open people's eyes to realizing the importance of being knowledgeable of the stock market, especially since it's trendy now, especially since you can see it all over the internet. And you know, for like Black people, just like a random fact is like we only own 1% of the stocks out of 100%. Like, which is crazy to me. Even with it being so trendy, like even with the latest data, is that Black people only own 1% of the stocks. So that's just something that I think if we're knowledgeable of and use it to the right instance, with it being a new wave where people are just used to the traditional dollar, I think us getting into that and being knowledgeable of NFTs and stuff like that, it'll help curve what we see as a big, wealth gap. But as far as like the virtual reality stuff, I just can't get into it, bro. It's already information is so accessible because all you got to do is just go to Google and find it. It just makes everything feel like we living in a Sims game, like we're in a simulation or something. And it's scary to me is because, to y'all's point, like we're made to fellowship, but I think there's going to be a generation of kids or people that would rather sit at the house in this virtual reality and never go outside to ever face or create anything that could be helpful in society. You know what I'm saying? That's the real scary part about it for me is I don't, and I can sound like the old people when the internet started booming. I don't see any benefit out of it when it comes to society besides keeping people at the house. It might keep from spreading another if we go into another pandemic or something, but I don't see any positive. It's weird to me. I know it's gonna make a lot of money, so I'm definitely researching and looking into it, but I don't see a lot of positives in that. And Walmart actually is the first retail giant today that is actually starting to accept. They're going to create their own cryptocurrency, and they have their NFTs. So pretty much, probably like Tesla, I'm pretty sure they'll start accepting crypto coins as payments in the line. Which, for the traditional person, it looks like the fall of the U.S. dollar is about to start, and paper would no longer be a thing, and that would be the part that a lot of people have to adjust to. Is I think they're trying to really get rid of the dollar, and I think this is why crypto is such a huge push in the NFTs, because everything is digital, and you don't have to transfer anything. You can just spend how you want to spend, and we don't have to do a hand-to-hand transfer. So it's cool because it's a lot of money gonna be made, but it's scary times to realize that we're now about to see the change like our elders have seen. So I think it's dope in a certain sense, but then it's very scary from a society point of view, especially when it comes to like communication and shit like that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
As for me, now I guess I could not be politically correct. All that shit's bullshit to me, because my thing is, let's say they decide to monopolize on crypto. So let's say, Walmart about to create their own, let's say Tesla create their own, but let's say they say Bitcoin the only one that they accept. Like if the world or the powers that be decide to say, oh, no, we're going to cut all this out, we only going to accept Bitcoin or whatever the case may be, then what you're going to do if you got a different cryptocurrency and you got $1 million worth of dollars in it or whatever, and now ain't nobody taking it or trading it, and then you stuck with that shit. And then since they only allowing you, they only, like, Bitcoin is the only one that they taking for conversational purposes, Bitcoin worth shit. It's up there to get even one bit of Bitcoin. So like you fucked. And then let's say they don't even decide Bitcoin, but then another coin takes charge and rises just like that. It's just a way to me that I say that they trying to fuck the people, to be honest. They're trying to make two classes, and it's been trending that way for a minute, but they really trying to make two classes where it's just gonna be the wealthy and the poor, and that's it. Ain't no more middle class in there, ain't nothing. So I think that's bullshit. And then Flake, to your point, I know like when you're a kid, it sounds cool to put on some goggles and sit courtside or go to a concert. Well, what that shit do you if you're not really there? Like, you still not there. I know it looks good in your eyes and all this other stuff. I know that stuff looks good, but it's not real. So I just, to me, it's just bullshit. And it's just people trying to flaunt and flex on something and paying for shit that's not real. That's like them blow up dolls back in the thing, them robots where people was buying them sex robots to get it. It's not real, my nigga. It's not real. So
the only thing only thing about that, I was looking at how cool it was because it's like another way to watch TV. So if you watch the game on TV, you can put your glasses on, go watch the game in your Oculus glasses, like you watching it on TV. But it's like sitting courtside at that actual game. Now, do it compared to the real thing? Heck no. I just went to the concert over the weekend. I had the time of my damn life. Now, I would rather be there than put on some Oculus glasses and watch the concert. It don't get no better than being there live and seeing what's going on. And like for example, I went to an old school R&B concert, Genuine walking throughout the whole stadium and you know what I'm saying, girls passing out and all that stuff. They don't beat that at all. But I just thought it was a cool thing that you could, if you watch it on TV, you put the glasses on, and it's kind of like watching it on TV or whatnot.
but the price tag different. So that's why I'm saying, like,
now that's gonna be different because right now, like you can go watch them NBA games for free. Like right, if you own those glasses, you watch them games for free. I don't know about the movies and the concert, but I know the basketball games, you can watch them for free. And I think they're just a setup for when the playoffs come and the NBA finals, and it's like, oh no, buddy, yeah, it was free, and now I got you addicted, but that's gonna cost you $75 to sit courtside with the Oculus glasses on and get in VIP to watch this game. Because they did have some, I don't know if it's a concert or some type of fake little club I heard about. And you had to pay to get into a certain part of it. Like you get in one part, but the other part where everybody was at, you had to pay. And they had like security. So like if you try to get in there, they'll just kick you right back out. Ask for verification, boom, they kick you back out. So like stuff like that, right. Stuff like I'm like, so if I want to go to the club, bro, I just go change clothes, call for fellas, man. We'll go downtown. Like, I ain't understanding that.
So for the NBA games, you don't have to have like be subscribed to NBA TV or anything.
Not right now. Not right now. Yeah, you get in for the. But like I said, I believe it's a setup to get you hooked to doing that, and then once playoffs comes, finals come, they gonna bust your head.
Yeah, man, like it don't make sense to me, but I'm all about it. If it makes money, it's cool. I would just make sure that the people around me, especially my niece and my nephew, like y'all not gonna get caught up in that. Y'all gonna learn how to capitalize off of it because that's just where we're going to. But to Chris's point, I think like with it just picking one Bitcoin, I think that's the importance of getting rid of the dollar because you're just gonna look at it like this: the U.S. dollar. You look at pesos. You look at yen. So it's never gonna change. It's just the value of it is gonna be different, and it's just a different way we're looking at it. Because there are certain coins that could potentially catch up to Bitcoin because Bitcoin has even dropped a lot. Like it's all starting to balance itself out. So it just depends on how you're watching it and what you value. But everything a game, man. Everything a game. So I mean, we'll see how it turns out. But it's exciting and scary. But yeah. But yeah, so then and to get into the next topic, I know just this past yesterday, Monday, was Martin Luther King Day. My question for you all, first and foremost, thank you to him for everything that he did in regards to trailblazing. Now, what's you all's favorite Martin Luther King speech and why? And then also, which speech do you think actually put the hit out on him to say we actually have to kill him at this point? Like he can no longer be a part of society. Which one do you all think that was?
I want to say the mountaintop is my favorite. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I get the correct name here. Because it is one of my favorites. Hold on. dang, I want to say it's the mountaintop. Now I can't find it.
Yeah. So you said you think that it's actually
I've been to the mountaintop. I've been to the mountaintop. Is his favorite to me, and the reason why that is my favorite is because he's not pretty much speaking on segregation and integration and stuff like that. He had reached a point, and I don't know exactly when that point it came, where he started speaking more about Black economics. And I think I don't think it's one speech that made the government and other people started saying we gotta get him out of here. I think once he switched over to the leaving integration and all that, he didn't leave it completely alone, but he got to talk more about Black economics. It was one speech where he had spoke about now it wasn't even a speech, it was more of an interview where he had spoke about how the government was giving away these free dollars and giving away land or selling it for cheap, this, that, and the other. And he said, us as Black people, we come together and we going to DC and we looking for our check. We want our check. And then I've been to the mountaintop, and that one, he was in Memphis and he was speaking about the sanitation workers being on strike. And he was speaking about money. Then he started speaking about economics at that point in time. It's my favorite because that was his thing. He was like, you tell us to pull us up by our bootstraps. However, you do X, Y, Z to keep us from rising up. And then when he started speaking about don't buy, Coca-Cola no more. Don't buy bunny bread no more. Don't buy the other number one, the other bread company ain't even not that I know of is still out. I don't, unless they change the name. But he was saying don't buy these things. Don't go to these certain stores. Start buying in communities, lift each other up, start buying this. Our sanitation workers are feeling the pain. Well, we're gonna make them feel a different type of pain, kind of like the bus boycott. What happened with the bus boycott? They started hurting and they changed some rules and laws. So they knew if Black people, as much money, and he put it out there, as many people didn't know that the amount of money that Black people was getting then during that time was more than some of these, other countries. And I was like, we just make up a small percentage of the United States. We our own country. We make more money than XYZ country. And when he started speaking like that, saying we don't need to buy this from these people, we don't need that. All we need is each other and stick together. I think at that point is when they said they had to get him out of here. He was speaking about Black folks sticking together and Black economics, but also during that time, he was also speaking to poor white people too, and was saying, look, they treat us bad, but y'all poor white people, y'all ain't no better than us. They treat y'all almost the same way. You can just go in this place and restaurant, sit down and eat a sandwich, but when you really trying to get to the money, them rich white folks don't want to deal with you. And I think it was I don't think it was just one speech. I think it was just a number of interviews, conversations, and speeches where they was like, oh no, but they got to go.
Yeah, I'm rocking with you on that one. I can definitely get where you're coming from. What's your thoughts on that, Spears?
There was actually a book that I'm going to purchase one day, and I seen it a minute ago, but it has all of Martin's speeches in it, and it's like over, I want to say like 200 speeches in it. And so I'm not well versed in every speech, so I'm not going to sit here and pick a favorite. I will say speeches that touch me though is I Have a Dream. And so the reason why I Have a Dream touches me is because it speaks to a time where racism was still prominent and they wasn't too far removed from slavery when you just think about what slavery is and how it transitioned from actual plantation slavery to Jim Crow to, the red line and to everything that they done to us. And so we wasn't too far removed from, just getting voters' rights and different things like that, women's rights, things of that sort. So it speaks to a future, but it also speaks to the present, even in 2022. So to me, it's reminiscent of Tupac, and Tupac, 1A for me or 1B, my favorite rapper. So his message is still prevalent in today's time as it was when he gave it some, 40, almost 50 years ago. So that's why it sticks out to me so much. And because it talks about a future where, we can all come together and have exactly what we're trying to fight for, Rose, is equity and equality. So we're trying to fight for the resources and the access to the same things. And we can stop fighting against each other, but realize that we need to do this hand in hand to a certain extent and build things together better for our children's children, and so on and so forth. So it speaks to me, but the one that Flake was talking about is definitely one of the ones. Again, he probably had more because I know he went on a tangent and a rampage at a certain point before his untimely demise, where he was talking about Black financial economic growth and prosperity, and he was heavy on it and he was hitting it, and that really became more of his message than anything else. It wasn't about equality per se. It was about giving us that economic value and right because we did A, B, and C, and D, because we've been through A, B, C, and D, and because we deserve A, B, C, and D. And so that message is a prominent message as well. And I know he spoke and he went on his little tour around churches and different congregations, but then also outside of the church where he just met with Black leadership and everything. And he was talking about how we need to get some real estate. We need to get some our economic dollar up. We need to start doing this and buying this and do it together collectively as a whole unit versus individuals. And so that is the reason, one of the reasons why he was murdered. He was a great example. Again, there's stories about his personal life and here and there, so I can't really speak on him as a man behind closed doors, because I don't know whether this is true or not, and how some people feel. So I got to make sure I'm just putting that out there, because I don't want nobody to be like, he was a womanizer or he was this or all that other stuff. So I don't want to make nobody feel.
Who gives a damn?
No, I feel you, but some people do. Some people do care.
Let me tell you something. So, I'm gonna say this. When we show these movies about these white people, when they do these documentaries on these white people they think are great, don't none of that information ever get out. It ain't talked about. It ain't divulged. You don't never even know unless you really dig deep into it. Look, that man did what he did, but do that overcome what all he accomplished? You know what I mean? So I mean, you gotta take some good with it, man. Ain't nobody perfect, man. Anybody trying to hear that shit?
No, I definitely feel you and agree, but I'm just trying, make sure I'm trying to take the Rose approach. So
man, fuck all that.
make sure we covered on all bases, so that therefore we ain't getting flagged on that. We're trying to get to this money.
Yeah, I understand that, but folks need to quit being damn sensitive, man. Like they would, if Martin Luther King, Malcolm X was here today, Instagram and Facebook would let them men be great, man. They'll never let Malcolm Little be Malcolm X. You know what I mean? Because if they knew what Red was out there doing, they would try to counsel Red before he become the great man he is. But I'm tired of these folks always talking about all that other like they perfect and they ain't never did nothing before, man. Fuck them folks.
No, I definitely agree with you. I do, but I'm just trying, but we see the crazy part about out of you. That's that comedian talk.
Yeah. Because my thing is, it's like, well, everything y'all said, I agree. I don't have a favorite speech, but I do want to go back and just look through his work just to see exactly which one what I would consider like a favorite. But the I Have a Dream one hit to me more. To Spears' point, it kind of like created that vision. I think we all have that, no matter if you know, whatever community work you're doing, it started with that. And I think America liked that message more, and that's the one that they always push, because it's how they paint them out, not paint them out, but it's like, this is the message that we want you all to take in. Because if you listen to I've Been to the Mountaintop, that's that one. Like, that was one of the ones where a lot of people would probably side with the current stance of where we should be now, outside of people that were very much so behind how Malcolm approached it. You know, there's people like, to Spears' point, there are some people that think that we should never took the approach of you know, integration integration. So that'll be another conversation that we actually have to have. But I think that was the one for me, is like, when he was going on that, when he took that path with it and understood that he's now got people on his, you know, on his side, it makes sense. It's like, I know we're talking about Martin, but same reason why they killed Fred Hampton. It's like, once they broadened their horizons of not just trying to impact our people and brought other people on that felt the same way, that's when they let you know unity is very dangerous. But then that's also leads to untimely death, because that's how fast they coming. Because what was it, Martin in 68, Fred Hampton in 69, and their message to me sounds so much alike because of the people they were able to connect with. So that I've Been to the Mountaintop is a hell of a one. I listened to it like a couple times the other day. I'm like, damn, I always heard the I Have a Dream, which kind of sound like, you know, just a dream, but I've Been to the Mountaintop sounded very action oriented and actually a plan that you could go out and do to this day. So that was it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to see what was you all's thoughts on that. But then that also brought up a key point. We're going to have to talk about it, just to kind of throw it out there. Should we have not took Martin's approach or Malcolm's approach? Because I think that's a conversation that I haven't heard people really just dive into. But I want to see of what y'all thoughts on that. We have to create an episode to talk about that. But yeah, that's all I have for today, fellas, in regards to that.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Fleck.
Go ahead, Spears.
I was just gonna say, and then just to add, I've Been to the Mountaintop. Also, the way it was written or spoken, it was in a way where it was like he had been there and he's seen, like it was a dream per se, and he's seen what could happen and what could come if we did this. And so again, I mean, he was a great orator. We all know that, and he was good with that pen because he had to write it before he spoke it. So he was good with that pen in a sense. And so yeah, he just talked that talk, just like Malcolm talked that talk. So I wish that we really protected our greats to better. And then also, I wish we just didn't have snakes around people. I wish snakes just wasn't a thing, especially around solid ass people, like real people who are really trying to do the work and everything. I wish it just wasn't jealousy, envy, greed, hate. I just wish all of that wouldn't happen, because I know if we still had them two brothers along with, like, you know, Marcus Garvey to a certain extent, and I know he was many years before and prior, but you know, if we had the greats like that and everything, even though part of Marcus Garvey's demise was his own self, because he was doing some things behind closed doors that wasn't right. But again, if we just had people around to you know, really protect them brothers, I can only imagine where we would be right now, or what would have transpired for the whole as a culture. So
You sure said something
Yeah.
with that snake shit, because it's like, how much could we actually progress if it wasn't for the, snakes, or just not the genuine love for one another, and to see us actually, progress forward. But it was something that my home could have said, which is dope, man. It's like, when you're doing this, it's like people to bring up everything that you've done, try to find any little blemish to put on your on your resume. But the crazy part about it, and I've never even looked at it, she was like, as Black people are truthfully trying to uplift the ones around them that they love, right? And they have a good heart. Nobody's ever going to be perfect, but it's like, and I'm glad we're focused, so I say that, but it's like, it's a bunch of wrecks on the side of the road, and those are people that are purposely deterring you from going to your location. But the reason why people that are doing the work can't get there is because they're too busy looking over at the wrecks instead of getting to their destination. And when she told me that, I'm like, oh, that's hella deep, because I think that is the thing, is that we allow the distractions or the snakes or the wrecks to catch our full attention instead of really focusing on getting towards our goal, and then we set another and then bringing another person through. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. But that's part of the game, man. You got to be met with a little resistance in order for you to grow to your full potential. That's with anything. Unfortunately, especially in this work, you get the heaviest critique if you say that you for your people. But if you say you ain't, shit, you get all the support in the world. So, that's just how it be. What you saying, Flake?
No, I was gonna say, let's not forget the government was found a little bit guilty or admitted to being a part of his demise, him and Malcolm X. So it's hard to deny. It's the fact that you can't even trust your government sometimes when people started getting so much power. And I'm not talking about cash flow power. I'm talking about power of the people on how they will snake and do things like that. So you're not government that's been snakes. I do get disappointed that those two men wasn't able to make it. Oh, my bad. Got a little too real for a second.
No, because I'm just surprised that you surprised, because that's they go.
No. Well, I'm not surprised, but I'm just saying we got to keep that in the back of our mind that as we talking about crypto and things of that nature as well. But we ain't got to go back into that. But I do get disappointed that I didn't get the opportunity to hear those two men speak live and in person. Even if I just seen it on TV, but just see them in alive and speaking of things happening, because I mean Martin would have been 95, so that means by the time I was born, he at least would have still been out there doing some type of work or doing interviews or whatever. Malcolm about the same. They've been in their elder years. I ain't get a chance to see them be a Dick Gregory. You know what I mean? I would love to see them talking and seeing all the things they've been through and all the things they've seen, and be able to reach Dick Gregory age. And when you hear them old people talking, they get to tell them stories. Man, it'd be some of the best stories ever. Not the speeches and that, but just getting on and listen to your grandparents tell them stories. Man, I would love to just been able to have them brothers be that age and hear them stories and give out them lessons they learned over time, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. I set up for about 3 or 4 hours and I was in a mode and listened and watched Baba for like 4 hours, man. Just, getting, above the influence and just watching some good content, man. Baba was a Dick Gregory, rather, for people to know it, but yeah, Baba was a hell of a man, dog. Like, just his transition from even when being a comedian to community activist, but then how his whole, I do one on him too, but just the way he was able to attract people, but still keep his authentic self throughout the entire process. What made him such like a living gem, like even from how he fasted, like the brother was here, man. Like them old, like I call it that old nigga spirit. Like when you got that old nigga spirit, dog, it's just, that's why I say like Black men deserve to grow old. I just can't wait to be that age and just saying whatever the hell I want to, and you either find it funny or be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's just awkward. That's just granddaddy. Like, yeah, it's just they possess a different type of aura, man. And,
Yeah, as I stated, Nigger by Dick Gregory is basically an autobiography. It's one of the best books I've ever read. And so, yeah, and that was his early life that it spoke about. So not even his latter years and everything. So he was a profound person. And like you said, like it would have been dope to see them because, like you said, right now they would be in that 80s, late 80s, early 90s, so to speak, or whatever. But just like when we was 15 or whatever, they still would have been, like 65, 70 or whatever. And my father just, happy birthday, Pops, just had his birthday yesterday, just turned 57. So my Pop's still moving around and everything. So I could imagine them still, doing the marches and doing stuff and everything. So it would have been profound just to actually be there and to see it or to know what it is. But you know, to your point, the government, and they ain't a snake because they was never for us. So I can't call them a snake. So they just did it right in our face and didn't care. But the government did have ties to both of their deaths, and we know that. But it also took a snake to help set it up and to make sure people was either on the stage or on the balcony at the right time and all this other stuff. So that's the stuff I'm talking about, where you had them snakes who just really didn't care. And, some of the people that we even show reverence to might have been some of them snakes, especially for Martin, so, they were standing right on the balcony beside him, so, but that's a different story for a different day. Rose or Flake, did y'all have anything else to add or to any more questions that came from that or statements?
Nah, man. Keep your grass cut. That's all I got to say.
Shit, even with the grass cut, they still lurking. But I feel you.
Hey, man. But we're gonna have to speak on that because you said right beside him, I almost hollered. But yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah. Hey,
what
man,
type?
that's even like with you. There's so much to speak about when it comes to them agents, man. Even with Fred Hampton, it's crazy. Like, But no, I ain't got nothing else, man.
And the reason why I say the government snake sometime too, because they convince a snake that they're gonna be the next in power if we get rid of this, and then come on the back end. Oh, you thought this was gonna happen? Yeah, we gonna snake you too. You ain't finna get the power you think we'll give you a look handy. We ain't about to give you what you think you're gonna get.
Hey, some of them been very prosperous. We'll say that for another day. But yeah,
I mean, he did ask somebody what's the name of that other bread company in his last speech. So
yeah.
You go back and listen. You might know who I'm talking about. Might be the same person that got caught on the hot mics telling the person next to him they wish they snipped Obama nuts.
Yeah, well, it's been some crazy damn times, man. But now we go ahead and we're going to the Black Business Minute.
Yeah. So because of today's topic, the Black Business Minute shifted. So the Black Business Minute for this week is the King Center. So just a little bit about the King Center. We're going to talk about the CEO, which is his daughter, Dr. Bernice A. King, is a global thought leader, strategist, solutionist, orator, peace advocate, and CEO of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolence Social Change, the King Center, which was founded by her mother as the official living memorial to the life, work, and legacy of her father. In this position, Bernice continues to advance her parents' legacy of nonviolent social change through policy, advocacy, research, as well as education and training through the Kingian philosophy of nonviolence, which she rebranded Nonviolence 365, NV 365. Through her work at the King Center, she educates youth and adults around the world about the nonviolent principles and strategies modeled by her parents. Under her leadership, the center has implemented numerous initiatives reaching over 500,000 people around the world, including the beloved Community Leadership Academy. Students with King MV 365 Education and Training, the beloved Community Talks, a courageous conversation platform about the difficult racial and social justice issues impacting our world. Dr. King led the development of the MV365 certification program for trainers, which provides individuals with the opportunity to teach the MV365 curriculum on behalf of the King Center. She's an instructor for the program and a trainer. That's just a little bit about Dr. Bernice King. But again, the King Center is the living memorial, memorandum, legacy, nonprofit, and everything for Martin Luther King and his wife, who both have passed, and Dr. Bernice King is running it. So salute to the King Center for being our Black Business Minute this week, and all the work that you are doing, your inspiration and an example to not only us, because we're taking on this walk with the nonprofit and social change and social justice, but also to a lot of Black people around the world. So we appreciate your work and everything. It's just, we under a different umbrella, because that NV365 might not be the way we go, but we love you all the same. And that's our Black Business Minute.
Shout out to the King Center. Our Supreme Black Person of the Week is Mr. Robert Smalls, born in 1839, died in 1915, was an American politician, publisher, businessman, born into slavery in Beaufort, South Carolina. That sounds like an old slave town, Beaufort. Sound like they might still be racist in Beaufort. He freed himself, his crew, and their families during the American Civil War by commanding a Confederate transport ship, the CSS Planter, in the Charleston Harbor in May 13th of 1862, and selling it from Confederate control waters of the harbor of the U.S. blockade that surrounded it. He then piloted the ship to uncontrolled enclave in Beaufort in the Hilton Head area, and where he became a Union warship. His example and persuasion helped convince President Abraham Lincoln to accept African-American soldiers into the Union Army. He also was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives in South Carolina's 7th District. He was in office from July 19th of 1882 to March 3rd of 1883. So he was also a member of the South Carolina State Forum of Beaufort County. He was in office there from 1870 to 1875. He also was a member of the South Carolina House of Representatives from Beaufort County, and he was in office from 1868 to 1870. At that time, he was a Republican. As we know, ideas and things have shifted between Republican and Democratic Party. So big shout out to Mr. Robert Smalls and what he has done. He has been a gem to the African-American people as a man who was able to free his whole family and his homeboys. You know what I'm saying? That's a stand-up guy right there. That's a stand-up guy. So Supreme Black Person, Mr. Robert Smalls. With that being said, I might not make it to the mountaintop with y'all, but I'm not fearing no man. I'm not fearing anyone. My eyes have seen the glory. For all our queens out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side, let them know y'all a queen. For all our kings out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side, let them know y'all a king. We are not 3/5 of anything, but we are supremely black, and we out.